This is Mickey Clayton, the coach from Inside Sports. Boy, y'all know I love me some barbecue. I found the bestest barbecue sauce. It's online at BBQ Jank, BBQ Jank, the Jank. Boy, I'm messing around with that stuff. I no longer have to mess around trying to make my own. I'll put that in a pot, put it on my meat. I'll claim it, but it's from the Jank. The official barbecue sauce of Inside Sports. You better order some for your next tailgate early.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right, here we are. Mick, hashtag Mick and Rick. Rick Brown, the legendary reporter, the man of many opinions. How's it going there, brother?
Well, Coach, let me just tell you something. A little disappointed today. Brackets busted. Hoyer's gone down. They got ripped. But it's still college basketball. It's still March Madness. It is still a wonderful thing, man. It's great, man. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm great. As my grandson says when you ask him how he's doing, he says, I agree.
Okay. That's what's up.
Hey, before we go too far into this week's show, I have to go back a little bit to last week's show. We stirred up some good commentary from people. First of all, let me give a shout out to Barbecue Jank, the official barbecue sponsor of Inside Sports. They said listening to the show was great. They said it was like their two uncles chopping it up.
Well, wouldn't it be uncle and nephew? Uncle, you got a little more gray than I do.
Yeah. I, a little dye, I could get rid of that real quick.
Oh, okay then.
I got a long text. I'm going to read some of it to you.
Okay.
And it says, I agree wholeheartedly with your concept, Mickey. It's time for the HBCU sports to mandate, rule, and establish their own sports awareness, growth, and development to ensure that funds and scholarships are generated and distributed amongst themselves. It's time we bring the talent, experience, and highlights back to our culture with the swagger that we create, be it that's what we do. It's time we stop being puppets for others and make money for our own schools and our own athletes. I'm just saying.
Okay. I see people thinking. I see people, you got people fired up with that comment last week. I see that. But they're right, though. They're right. And I'm glad. Thank you for your comments. Coach, tell them if people want to comment, how can they reach us?
Well, they can continue to write. They can make a comment on YouTube. There's a spot there that they could do it. They can make the comment on Twitter at Insights, INSiiGHTS, 2 I's in the middle. Or give them your email address. Your Twitter handle. What it is?
Yes,
at Glorious Rick Brown.
No, not Smooth or Casanova. No, none of that. It is at Rick Brown 91. RickBrown 91. That's the Twitter handle.
Okay.
Yeah, hit us up there, guys. Hit us up.
Free Agent Rick, isn't it?
Yeah, you can find me at Free Agent Rick because I'm still out there. I'm still looking for a job. I'm still looking for someone to. The jumper still is good. The handles are still good.
Excuse me, something's wrong with it's a
bad
no.
If a team needs the playoff run, a vet for a playoff run, I'm here. See, I'm already in uniform. I'm ready to go. Oh, wait, already in uniform, ready to go. Let's go.
That's the team you probably need to play on. 1887.
Ouch. Okay, old man. You know what? This old guy, I'm telling you, I love him though. Love him to death. All right, Coach. Let's jump right into it, man.
No, don't jump into it yet, because I got another comment that's gonna lead to something
that I probably was gonna jump into. Go for it.
Let me throw this question that was put to me by another listener.
Okay.
They said, Coach, do you think Can we get the amount of money that the Power 5 schools get at HBCUs? And boy, did we have a heated discussion about that, because I told him that's almost utterly impossible for Black colleges to get the money that the Power 5 schools get. But that's why we had the dialogue that we had in terms of we're not getting any now. So what we get, we can make a lot of headway out of it. But this particular commentary, I'm going to get this guy on the show and we're going to chop it up live. I told him I didn't want to hear any more of his opinions. Wait until everybody else what he got to say.
Wait. Now I know he didn't put the muzzle on you, Coach. He didn't just stop you like that. Not
No,
you.
I stopped him.
Oh, okay. That's more like it. That.
I am simply delighted that Freshman has come to fruition after years in the making. The novel started as Coach Clayton's heartfelt wish to bring to life in print the fictitious story of two young men coming of age in the 1970s. I always thought Freshman should be a book when I first learned about the two young men faced with all kinds of challenges at a fictitious HBCU. Mark and Charles were two opposite sides of being two peas in a pod. Charles was the hype man to Mark's more serious and at times goody-goody ways. And then there was Gloria, a little brazen hussy on steroids. She demonstrated why Danielle was the kind of young sister Mark needed to take a second look at. I'm delighted to have learned about all the members of Freshman's quirky cast of characters when Coach Clayton thought he needed to bring them to life on the printed page. Kudos, Coach Clayton.
Florida A&M and had an outstanding in there. But one of the things is that, and my daughters play. And I understand a lot. I mean, I understand, a lot of the conflict about the WNBA and the NBA, and they're not getting paid the same thing to them. Well, they're not bringing in the money, and, I want them to do well. But how could the NCAA, not better yet, I know how they did it, counting dollars. How they really did the women with their gift bags. I mean, something like the gift bags. Did you see how bad that was, Rick?
Coach, I didn't see the gift bag. I heard about the gift bag. I just saw the weights and the little 3-4 weights that was right there in a big room right next to this immaculate weight room that's for the guys. And I said right then, especially when it was on Twitter, it's going to be some trouble. And what happened the next day, though, or the next 2 days? They backed up. They backed up quickly and filled that weight room up. Now, I don't know if they got the gift bags, but I know they filled that weight room up.
Rick, with the gift bags, the stuff that the women had on there was like 8 to 10 items, and the guys almost filled up the whole bed with stuff that the guys got. And the guys were not happy with how they were even being fed. I mean, all this money that the NCAA is about to make on this tournament, almost $1 billion, a B as my big bald head, billion.
And it is kind of big.
Yeah. And it's kind of bald too. And the guys the people got boxed lunches. Cold, fast food. And then one team that got a warm breakfast had no utensils to eat it with.
I laugh, but are you surprised?
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
Are you? No. You shouldn't be surprised. Yeah. You shouldn't be. What has changed? This is the NCAA. They're going to cut corners to bring in and keep as much of the moolah as they can. And they're going to say, hey, look, you should be happy that we're even giving you some kind of lunch or some kind of stipend for you should be very happy with what we give you. but that's not the case.
Rick,
That's not the case.
let me tell you something. When we travel, especially when we travel north, at Florida A&M, one of the things that I did was I always put my basketball team in a full-service hotel. Why? If you go up there and get snowed in, and you're there a few days longer, and there's no restaurant facility in the hotel, one, you run out of money, and two, the kids can't eat. So you stay in a full-service facility so that if something happens, at the worst, you can eat. If you stay there a couple days and you don't have any, and your money that they give you is gone, you can now bill it back to the school. But you put these teams, all these teams in, and you have them in hotels. Would you not put them in full-service hotels? Would you not, at the very least, be able to have situations where they could eat? Come on, these are student athletes. Would you not put them in situations where they can eat? You do all of that negotiation when you put them in a hotel. That's why you stay in a particular hotel, because of what they're going to give you for putting everybody in there.
Okay. Now, no, see, I know what you're saying, but listen, these are college students. If they're next door to a McDonald's, they will be happy. If they're next door to a Chick-fil-A or a Golden Corral, Golden Corral, yeah, where they have buffets, they will be happy.
Okay.
I mean, so I'm not into all that. No, and it could be a Holiday Inn. It could be a Holiday Inn Express. I'm not gonna go Motel 6, but it could be. It doesn't have to be a high upscale hotel.
Yes, it does.
It doesn't have to.
Yes,
no, it doesn't, Coach.
Why? Why? Because this is March Madness. It's the
Okay.
cream of the crop. It's not a normal game where you're going to play somebody. This is the March Madness, a once in a lifetime experience. They get more money from the NCAA to feed these kids for this game than what the schools generally give them. So they ought to be able to eat well. It ought to be a situation where we don't have to sit there and say, you got a $21 food limit. We got to stay within the limit. $5 for breakfast, $6 for lunch, and $10 for dinner. The guys and girls who are playing in March Madness should be able to go to places to eat that they may never get a chance to go to.
And they don't care. All they want to do is hoop and win. All that experience stuff is nice. It is nice. I mean, it is wonderful. I mean, yeah, I guess some football teams in the BCS got PlayStations and all of that kind of stuff. Whoop-dee-doo.
But
they didn't even have to get that. As long as they played the game, all they care about is playing, Coach. Come on now. You played the game. Did you care about the goodies?
Yes.
You like the goodies, but did you care about it? Come on, Coach.
I cared about where I ate, and each team I had cared about where they ate. And when we went to the NCAA tournament, played Duke and Charlotte, thank you, the guys cared about where they ate. I'm telling you what I know. It's not
okay.
I'm telling you what I know.
Okay. I still believe they don't care. All they care about is on the court and beating teams like Georgetown or Carolina or someone like that.
Rick,
I don't think they want to win. That's secondary.
No,
I think the food and stuff is secondary.
Rick, you're there for a week. Hear what I'm saying now?
Maybe.
If you're winning, if you lose, then you're going back home. It doesn't matter because you're on campus.
This year you're there for a week. Okay.
Rick, I can't talk about last week. Last year wasn't there at all. So yeah,
that's true.
And they could possibly be there 3 weeks if they continue to win and go to the Final Four. And as the coach, you want to make sure that your team is getting what they need to be able to compete and play.
Does that affect your on the court performance, Coach?
Yes, it will if they're not eating well.
No.
Okay.
No.
You just answered. Hey, you answered any question that I might have had. Put down that shirt you had about wanting to play now. Put that down. Don't raise that shirt up anymore. Come on now. And then expected to go out on TV, play in front of these people. You've already been in COVID-19 quarantine since almost October. Some of them couldn't even go home at Christmas, and they gave up everything to be in a situation like this. Or the coaches that are in quarantine that have families, and now they're in quarantine and there's no provisions made for them to bring their babies or infants with them, and nothing set up for them. So I mean, this thing wasn't thought out all the way, wasn't thought out well. And in
I will give you that.
Yeah, some situations
I
they
would
want it thought out well. Because if you're the person who plays the devil's advocate like I usually am, and throw things out there, then they say you're not a team player because you brought up the fact that these kids not eating well. Then when it blows
not
up,
a team player.
yeah, you're not a team player because you don't go along with what they're trying to do, and you're like, somebody mentioned the food. I guarantee you somebody did. And they're in a room right now that said, well, I did try to tell y'all. I saw what went out to the women. I did try to tell you it wasn't equitable. So I guarantee you somebody had to say that. Don't get me wrong, NCAA is kind of arrogant with how they handle stuff. And if you speak out against them, then they come after you. Ask Jerry Tarkanian. If you say something against the NCAA, they come after you. They're the first and final word on everything. So this has not gone well for the NCAA. They've been getting eaten up. They have been eating them like those Popeye fried chicken sandwiches that first came out.
That I bet if the players got, they'll be very happy if they got them. Right. I guarantee that. Mm-hmm. Well, at least for the first night. You can't have Popeye's chicken sandwich every night, but I see the point. You know, that part hasn't gone well, Coach, but the games. People are watching these games, and the ratings are up there. The ratings are higher than it was 2 years ago, and I think it's because of COVID. No, I know it's because of COVID, and I know it's because there was no games last year. So, but before I go there, Coach, one thing about COVID that I want you to understand where I'm coming from with this. I hate that we have to go through this. But the one thing as a sports fan that I've liked is that games have been moved around and have been on like every day of the week. Just like the NFL played a game every day of the week this year. College basketball, the tournaments on at different times, Monday at noon. Usually we started Thursday at noon.
Thank you.
And it's great. It's great for a fan like me to see games at unconventional times. Even though I'm more of a traditionalist, this has been cool to see. And on the court, they've given it the best effort. So hats off to them for that.
Well, you said something that I completely agree with. I agree with a lot of what you just said, but typically they were doing the 16 teams and the 16 seeds and almost a playing game. But they did them on Thursday, the 16 teams, and it looked like the 11 seed and the 16 seed. And I couldn't quite understand the concept. Then for those of us who always followed it, Thursday and Friday were always the games that they played 4 games at a time. And you'd have 2 TVs set up and one with the old kind of picture and all of that. And you jumping around from game to game. And, you know, all of us came home early because that's when the black college teams always played. We always played the 16 seed against the number 1 seed. And it was just hard to kind of get. I'm with you. The schedule was kind of jacked. And because it was Thursday, Friday, then Saturday, Sunday. But because I guess they felt like we already got these kids out of school anyway, so we're going to try and fill some other television time and revenue and fill that up. the games, the ratings being up, what else people got to do? I mean, it's the only thing on TV. I mean, we've been dying for sports, and we're now seeing teams that we hadn't seen, and I hadn't seen Oral Roberts and the leading scorer in the country, and that little guy put in work, and I didn't even know they had anybody could shoot since the old days when Sam McCants was over there. But
you're telling your age now.
yeah, I'm proud to be able to be here to tell it too, buddy. And I like them. I like them. You know, I do. And then we called that what's going to happen with COVID-19 when somebody gets it. And VCU took out one of the best players that I like to watch, and that was a kid named Bones. That kid, he just flat shoots it off the logo, and we knew that was going to happen. I mean, when we discussed it during the week, what were your words, Rick? Coach, did we know that was going to happen?
We knew it was going to happen. Then we called that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame that VCU couldn't get a chance to celebrate, because this is what it is. It's a celebration. It is, and it's a reward for some teams. 4 years for some student athletes. 4 years of just that grind that they put in just for this one moment, and they don't even get a chance to do it. And it's sad. Oregon gets the walkover and moves on to the second round without even having to play a game.
Right.
But who's to say that's not going to happen again? And I don't want to talk that into existence, but
that right there.
And again,
the Final Four of one of the teams, it's a fourth walk to the championship.
What happens the final game, Coach? If it's Oral Roberts versus a Baylor, and just throwing it out, and Baylor gets it, Oral Roberts the national champions, or are they going to push it back like the NFL did their games, push the championship game back until they're ready?
Great point. Now you had another part. Another part of that is there's no game, and think of all the advertising that has already been paid for that. That now you had to give me some of my money back because we don't have that game being played. So now you have some financial implications here that are serious. You can't be minimizing during these times of with the COVID-19. Things are coming up, and it's not like anybody can lean on any past situation because all this is brand new.
People are going to be the advertisers, CBS, all going to be saying, hey, you're going to have to give up some of that money back. You're going to have to give it up because, we have the Equalizer coming on, slated for next week, so we can't push it back then. You're going to have to do something. They're going to have to do something.
Okay, let me ask you something else. Changing gears a little bit. Jackson State football team is no longer undefeated.
Oh, Prime Time suffered his first defeat? Oh, woe is me. Woe is me. The ex-Cowboy football player. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, woe is me, Prime. I'm sorry. I heard it was a good game. I did not see it because I was all into my daggone basketball. Oh my goodness! But
my phone.
It was it was a 4-point game, something like that, Coach.
Alabama State was it was at the end in the last 2 or 3 minutes. They had a couple touchdowns changed. The lead changed a couple times, and you know, HBCU football is its own special animal. And you're at Alabama State. You're at a Black College Stadium, and they have a gorgeous facility. And dancers, everything. You know what they did at the end of the game?
On the scoreboard. On the scoreboard. I saw that. The Jerry Curl Prime. The Jerry Curl Prime. I love it. Oh.
Look
if
at
you've never been to an HBCU game, For once in your life, folks, you have to attend and just observe. You don't have to stay. Well, you got to stay until at least the third quarter.
Right.
But at least to halftime, and then you can leave. But just observe the surroundings and check it. It's an experience. I mean, from the tailgating to everything, it's an experience. And hey, look, this is my invitation to you, to the folks out there. Come on to Bragg, or go over to Daytona Memorial, or go out to one of the SWAC teams or somewhere. Find an HBCU nearby and attend a game, and I promise you, you won't be disappointed. And if you really get into it, you'll find that the action isn't bad. It's darn good football as well. So that's my HBCU plug. But yeah, Coach, that's prime time. Was that whole, when I saw that, I did see that, and I laughed hard.
Typical of Black college, though. I mean, we got countless stories with Black college football. I remember Coach Merritt, we went to Tennessee State in Florida, and they were playing, and he was doing an interview with Rudy Hubbard and panned to Rudy, and it was a skull in a chair. He said, I need to get Coach Hubbard's opinion on this, and he panned up, and I was like, wow. Black college football is a life of its own. I mean, when you have people from Florida State come over to an A&M game, they'll come at this daylight now. They'll come.
Yeah.
They'll come, and they sit there and say, it's completely different than anything they've ever seen at Florida State. I mean, just by the time you park, if you park in the parking lot or nearby, what's first thing you do, you smelling barbecue.
You're smelling food.
You're stopping to buy something to eat because you got some of the best food you're going to get in town all for the whole month. The vendors are there. People are going around selling stuff. You haven't even got in the game yet. You haven't even gotten to the pregame show. Already, the different schools are sending out band messages talking about what they do in the SWAC now, and it's different. And our show presentation start in the pregame, and we're like, we do a pregame show on the TV, so we won't be a part of that, And the band's going back and forth, and the cheerleaders going back and forth. Heck, I've seen the mascots get into it at the game, and they sitting there body slamming somebody. I mean, it's a whole different act. Hey, what did it say? Have you been entertained? Go to Black college football.
You will be entertained.
You don't have to know anybody there. Just go to the game. You'll be like, man, when they play again? When do they play again? And then we kick off, was that Labor Day weekend, Jackson State in Miami at the Orange Blossom Classic. Jackson State, but I mean, there's so many good games. FAMU, Bethune-Cookman, Jackson State, Mississippi Valley, Southern, Grambling, all of those. I mean, and they travel exceptionally well. They support these teams now. Yes. Oh, it's going to be something football coming.
Yes. And it's almost that season. It's spring football now. I mean, some people say football is year round. So
that's my boy there, Rick Brown.
And the reporter. We out.
We out. Peace.
Peace.
From Insights. Visit our website at insights.com. 2 I's in the middle. INSiiGHTS.
Insights is the copyright of Mac4 Enterprises, a Florida corporation. This broadcast is produced under the exclusive ownership of Mac4 Enterprises and is the intellectual property and trademark of Mac4 Enterprises. Comments of the host and other individual speakers on Insights represent their independent thoughts and representation.